Nestled between rolling hills and a serene river, Elmwood was the kind of neighborhood where everyone knew everyone. Its streets were lined with old oak trees, their branches intertwining overhead to create a canopy that shaded the sidewalks below. Each house, unique in its architecture, had a story to tell, much like the residents who inhabited them. Every morning, the scent of freshly brewed coffee wafted through the air as Mrs. Jenkins, a retired schoolteacher, sat on her porch with a steaming mug, waving at joggers and dog walkers. She had lived in Elmwood for over 50 years and knew every corner of the neighborhood like the back of her hand. Next door to Mrs. Jenkins lived the Rodriguez family. Carlos and Maria had moved to Elmwood a decade ago, bringing with them the vibrant culture of their homeland. Their garden was a colorful testament to this, bursting with sunflowers, marigolds, and an array of vegetables. Their twin boys, Mateo and Luis, were often seen playing soccer in the yard, their laughter echoing through the streets. Across the street was the Thompson household. Mr. Thompson, a retired firefighter, spent his days tending to his meticulously maintained lawn, while Mrs. Thompson, a talented baker, often left trays of cookies on the porches of neighbors, her way of spreading joy. Their daughter, Emily, a high school senior, was known for her kindness and was often seen helping younger kids with their homework at the local community center. The beating heart of Elmwood, however, was the community park. It was a place where stories intertwined and lives intersected. On weekends, families gathered for picnics, teenagers played basketball, and the elderly took leisurely strolls along the winding paths. In the summer, the park hosted outdoor movie nights, where everyone would bring blankets and snacks, and children would run around, playing tag under the starlit sky. One summer, a new family moved into the neighborhood. The Parkers, with their young daughter Lily, were looking for a fresh start. They had left the bustling city life behind, seeking the tranquility of Elmwood. The community welcomed them with open arms, each neighbor introducing themselves with a warm smile and a plate of homemade goodies. Lily was a shy girl, often hiding behind her mother's legs during introductions. But as the days passed, the magic of Elmwood began to work its charm. She found herself drawn to the community park, where she watched other children play. One day, Emily Thompson noticed her standing alone and approached her with a friendly smile. "Hi, I'm Emily. Do you want to join us?" she asked, extending her hand. Lily hesitated but then nodded, taking Emily's hand. From that day on, Lily's laughter became a new melody in the neighborhood symphony. She quickly became friends with Mateo and Luis, and the trio was inseparable, exploring every nook and cranny of Elmwood together. As autumn arrived, the neighborhood transformed into a picturesque scene with leaves in shades of red, orange, and yellow blanketing the ground. Elmwood's residents prepared for their annual fall festival, a tradition that had been passed down through generations. The festival was a grand affair, with everyone contributing in some way. Mrs. Jenkins organized a pie-baking contest. The Rodriguez family set up a booth selling homemade salsa, and Mr. Thompson led the fire safety demonstration, much to the delight of the children. The day of the festival was filled with laughter, music, and the delicious aroma of food. Neighbors mingled, shared stories, and celebrated the beauty of their community. It was during this festival that the Parkers truly felt like they were part of Elmwood. Lily won the children's costume contest, dressed as a sunflower, her favorite flower from the Rodriguez garden. Winter in Elmwood was equally enchanting. The first snowfall brought a blanket of white, and the neighborhood took on a peaceful, almost magical quality. Residents decorated their homes with twinkling lights, and the community park was transformed into a winter wonderland. The Thompsons hosted a hot chocolate stand, where neighbors would gather to warm up and chat after an afternoon of sledding and building snowmen. As the year drew to a close, Elmwood prepared for its New Year's Eve celebration. It was a night of reflection and anticipation, where neighbors gathered to share their hopes and dreams for the coming year. The Parkers, now fully integrated into the community, felt a deep sense of belonging. They were no longer strangers in a new place. They were part of the Elmwood family. The clock struck midnight, and fireworks lit up the sky, their vibrant colors reflected in the eyes of the residents below. In that moment, as the cheers and laughter filled the air, it was clear that Elmwood was more than just a neighborhood. It was a living, breathing entity, nourished by the love and kindness of those who called it home. Years passed, and Elmwood continued to thrive. New families moved in, old ones moved away, but the spirit of the neighborhood remained unchanged. The bonds formed over shared cups of coffee, festive celebrations, and acts of kindness created a tapestry of memories that wove through the hearts of all who had the privilege of calling Elmwood home. And so, Elmwood stood as a testament to the power of community, a place where each resident, whether young or old, found their place in the story of the neighborhood, a story that would continue to unfold with each passing season.